Erev Tov. I'm Steve Kutno, the head of school at Alexander Muss High School. I'm sitting in Hod Sharon, just about 12 days since the war broke out in Gaza. I want to speak to all of the students and all of the staff and all of the members of the Jewish National Fund USA community who make our program possible and speak a little bit about what has occurred over the last 10 to 12 days. When rockets started to fire on Simchas Torah on that Shabbat, and sirens went off here in central Israel, which is quite unusual, I immediately made some phone calls to inquire about the safety of our students who were spending Shabbat and Simchat Torah in Yerushalayim. The immediate response was that sirens were also being heard in Jerusalem, and the students were safe in the shelters, in the hotels in which they were staying, which brought me some comfort. It also brought me comfort to know that they were with madrachim and teachers who were taking good care of them. As soon as it was safe to move them from Jerusalem and return them to campus, we brought them back Saturday evening. We had the good fortune of having JNF CEO Russell Robinson with us, here to greet the students when they arrived and make sure that they were well fed before we sent them off to bed and before we reacclimated them to the safety procedures here on our Hod Sharon campus. As things unfolded and we learned more about the circumstances of what happened in the Gaza envelope, and as it became clearer that we were about to go to war with Hamas, it became necessary to consider all possibilities, including returning the students back to the States. Now, I know that some of the students thought that that decision to return them was made in haste. I guarantee you it was not. It took a lot of thinking, a lot of thought that was done with me, the administration, with JNF, with our partners at the Barak Hebrew Academy. And ultimately, we decided the safest route forward for our staff, for the students, and in order to provide the students with a program that was meaningful, was to bring them back home and then to try to continue some of that programming online, which we will be doing on Sundays going forward. In the meantime, as the well-being of the students was assured when they returned home last Thursday, a journey that began on Wednesday, our campus has been converted to house those displaced families from Sderot. It's a beautiful thing to see families who have faced real trauma smiling and finding some happiness in our dorms and the life that we're able to provide and relative safety that we're able to provide here on campus. More importantly, it's given our madrachim a new purpose. Our madrachim are working with the children and even the adults in terms of providing daily activities for these displaced families. Some of the clothing that was left behind that has not been given away to outside charitable organizations has been used by these displaced families. Many of these families fled their homes with little time to pack and grab things. So when a child showed up with only flip-flops, we were able to provide him with sneakers as well. All of this is to say that the work of the students from the Alexander Muss High School, from the Barak Hebrew Academy, and from Heller High School has made a big difference in the lives of the people that have come here since. In addition to all of that, we know that many of the students have gone home and continue to raise money, but more importantly, raise awareness. I understand from what I see on the news here that our students and all of you in the United States are facing a rise in anti-Semitism, a rise that's rooted in the notion that somehow we are not the indigenous or the Jews are not indigenous to this region of the world. This couldn't be further from the truth, and it's an essential component of what we work with our students to understand. It's not to say that we are the only indigenous population, but this is the Jewish homeland, and it plays an important role in who we are both living in Israel and who we are living outside of Israel in the diaspora. I know it will be challenging for many of our students and alumni, and for many of you, to face the harsh criticism that Israel and Jews are up against on a regular basis. But it is why we are here. I want you to feel comfortable reaching out to me or anyone from the Jewish National Fund United States or any one of my organization at Alexander Muss High School to help you become better advocates for the future of the Jewish state and the future of the Jewish people. Thank you, Toda Rabbah, Shabbat Shalom, and hopefully we'll see you in more peaceful times.